GM, GA, GE, wherever you may be. Today, we have Azuki. They dropped something official to holders last night from the NFT LA event. So we're going to be talking about what we think might be in this crate. All right, so today we have Chris Piston 2X joining us, one of our resident Azuki maxis, I guess you could say. So Chris, were you awake when this drop happened last night?
Yeah, I was. I was actually at a friend's house and driving home, and like when I got home, I pulled it up and saw it was in my wallet. I think at that point it was like 2.5 ETH or something. I woke up in the morning and saw it was over 3, and so yeah, it's been fun watching it.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool how they did it, where basically they were at their garden party, which they've been talking about was going to be part of the NFT LA event, and they said there was going to be some type of announcement, but they're not going to give too much of that away. So I saw a tweet they had that they were at full capacity. They had to start turning some people away because they just couldn't fit any more in the venue. I saw there was like Wiz Khalifa was there. They basically were having a little just chat that I think it was Zagabond, right? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it or not, but he basically at the end of it was like, check your phones. You might have something there. So did you find out just from tweeting like other people on Twitter or in the Discord? How'd you find out?
In terms of like what we were getting, I was just checking I saw on Twitter like there was a drop last night, and so then I went and checked my wallet and saw something there.
Yeah, so you basically saw other people talking about it,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, let me check, see what I got. Because at first, I saw a message that someone was basically like, did Azuki just drop something in my wallet? Is this fake? Because that's been a big thing just in general in NFTs, just getting airdropped, like the fake versions of these things. So did you originally think that maybe this was a fake thing? Like, they didn't really explain much about it initially.
No, I didn't, just because, like you said, I saw it on Twitter. Like, I saw it was all over Twitter first before I actually saw it in my wallet. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been getting a lot of fake stuff dropped to my wallet this week. So, yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it first, I mean, I would have been skeptical of it for sure.
Yeah, and then honestly, like once they sent this tweet out, said something is coming, here's the official collection. I think people were pretty confident that it was real.
Right.
And it immediately just started selling at 2.5 ETH. It was rising. It was about 2.8 for a little bit, but I think partially it dropped around what, like 2 a.m. Eastern time. So I think a lot of people were already asleep, and there just weren't many listings, but people wanted to get in basically ground floor on this before basically there was no information on what it is. So we were planning on kind of examining the crate, talking a little about some theories off the bat. So what's your initial thought when you saw this crate as far as like what could be inside?
Like, my initial instinct when I thought was that it was going to be around merch, because kind of like going into the announcement, like they were talking a lot about merch and wanting to be, the internet version of Supreme, or the Supreme for the internet skaters. So I thought it was all going to be around merch, is what the announcement would be. I did not expect to wake up with $20,000 dropped to me, but
Yeah.
yeah, I still think it's a possibility that this is around merch, similar to like the Adidas NFT, like how you get merch from that. That's one of my theories.
Yeah. And so basically this past week or so, people have known this party was going to happen, and Zagabond had a tweet. It was 9 days ago that said just 9 days on it with a picture of a guy with a bean in his mouth, and that was the only color of it, was this red bean. So people were expecting something on this day to happen, and I think a lot of people were expecting a bean token or something along those lines. So it still could be easily connected to that. But dropping two of them, I wonder what the reasoning was behind that. They today's tweet he had, he basically said we want to be expanding the universe. So I think that's why they did two. So it's two for every holder, going to be 20,000 in total. I'm not sure the exact number right now. Let me see. It's about 19.9 so far thousand that have been essentially dropped. There was a gnosis issue, but yeah, so I have it up on screen here and kind of want to just analyze it at least to see maybe we can come up with some stuff. There's a few tweets that we've seen today that we'll look at as well. But basically, it's airdrop, so it's the crate with the parachute, and then what sort of stuff is popping out to you on this crate? Because I see there's the Bobu, like the kid on there. There's a couple different animals. Um, it says the IKZ on one side, Azuki on the other side. So what's sort of popping out to you on this crate?
Yeah, I mean, you've got all these the animals, the red panda, sloth, frog, cat. That's like within the Azuki NFTs. Like they're like the merch that a lot of the Azukis are wearing. And you got a couple other like little things down there, the blue and red. I don't know, smiley faces or whatever that you can call them. I don't know what those are. I've not seen that before, so that's new.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's kind of what's popping out to me.
because I'm trying to read what the words say. It says fine exports from the farm. I think that's what it says. I'm not sure, but the red and blue, maybe they're beans,
Oh yeah, that could be
beans
it.
or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
you're right.
that could be something they're connected to. Looks like there's kind of like shadowy things that might be beans. But then one thing that you sent me, and I'm not sure if we should do
The
this one
Wordle board.
first or the other. Yeah. So let me zoom back. Uh, Basically, there is this tweet from Song NFTs, and if you go onto the something official OpenSea, on the banner is this top photo that shows basically, like you said, it's a Wordle board. And then the crate itself has another Wordle board. So, what's your thought on this take? Basically, they say the first word is probably skate because skateboard is part of the lore here. And then the second word could be Azuki. And then if you break that out, the only correct arrangement is Sakai, which is a Japanese word for world or Earth. So they're thinking it's a hint at the metaverse. What's your thought on this take?
I mean, this is the most interesting one I've seen. With the fact that it came out at 1 a.m., like this was like immediate. I mean, that's not something that you just think of right away. Like you had to have like almost seen that before to think of this, I feel
Yeah.
like. So like I mean, this could be it. At the same time, I mean, it's like, I mean, you can just make up anything and, find your way to come up with this. But yeah, no, this is the most interesting one I've seen.
Yeah. And if world makes sense, I've seen some people talking about this could be land drop. I was coming up with a list, and I've DM'd some people on Twitter. We're coming up with sort of hot takes that people have. One of them was maybe it's 10,000 plots of land and 10,000 companions. That could be why you get one of each, and I like that take. I think another take that I heard was it's all companions, but there's basically the pictures that are on here. There's the cat. Um, I think there was
Cat,
that considered a
frog,
fox? Cat, frog.
and
Um,
then sloth is the brown one, and red panda is the red one.
Red panda. Yeah. The first thing I thought of when I saw that one was Shiba, because they had just come out
Yeah.
announced yesterday that they're going to be doing a metaverse. Yeah, I mean, all those make sense, and that sort of goes in line with Gutter Cat Gang, how they did it with the four species, and obviously that one, in about 50 minutes, if you have a Gutter Cat juice, you'll be able to uh, fuse that in to get a clone. So that's what today was expected to be, as far as what the show is going to be. But now, I mean, Azuki's basically taken over from it. And so Azuki had been the big mover on the week already, getting up close to that 20 ETH range. Uh, right after this dropped, it fell back down into around 15s, but then it came right back up to 18. So I have this other one that I wanted to share, this other tweet that we were looking at earlier, and they're thinking it's going to be one animal of those four species that we mentioned, and then they expect the traits, the spirit gold, red, blue, natural, which those are in line with the Azuki rarity. Is that correct?
Yeah, those are like the different skins of the Azuki's
Yeah.
skin colors.
So it'd be cool, like it, especially with the spirits, which obviously are the top end of it. And if there was a spirit panda or spirit sloth, like I'm sure those would pop too. I know you had done your top 50 Azuki video. We could pull that up in a second here, but uh, do you think this would be a good way for them to do it, having, four different species in that 20,000? Because there have been a few different takes on the gutter cats, if that's how they should have done it. But do you think this would be a good way?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of another way what else they would do. I mean, I don't think you would drop more Azukis, and I don't think you want to like copy mutant apes and do mutant Azukis. That wouldn't really fit with their brand. Um, but yeah, it's hard to say how the market will judge it. Like it needs, I think it needs to be more than just a PFP profile picture of an animal because we've got enough of those already.
Yeah,
But if there's something more to it than just that comes along with it, if this is what it is, then yeah, I mean, I that's what I would expect is it
yeah,
would incorporate these characters into this ecosystem.
yeah. Because I'm trying to think if there's any other of these big projects that maybe had multiple split into one drop like this. Because I know with the gutter cats, each of those species were separate drops. They did the dog and pigeon together, but
Yeah,
like the mutants, you only got one.
right.
It This might be the first time I feel like them giving two to each holder instead of how like mutants it was one to the holder and then the other one was Dutch auction. I feel like there's got to be something behind that, like why they're giving it just to the holders. Are they going to come out with another, say, Dutch auction like we've seen with these other collections potentially for people outside of the Azuki universe? And so that's where on my side, where I don't have an Azuki, I'm still cautious as far as buying into one of these because maybe they're going to come out with something that will be a little cheaper than this 4 ETH floor that it is right now for those outsiders.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
which if that's the case, I need to I'll sell one of mine now before the supply increases.
yeah, it's tough because it's like uh, the way a lot of these have been worked, and just in general for NFTs, is if you don't sell right away, it's almost like once the news comes out, depending on what it is, it could really crash. It's
Yeah.
almost like that unknown keeps the floor up. So you had take earlier talk about a little of your thoughts on as a holder holding versus selling right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously always difficult to predict what's going to happen. You're never going to perfectly time any of these, but my thoughts is like if I look, most comparable is like Monolith right now with the Clone X's, where it's a drop, you don't know what's going to be in it yet, and everybody with the Monolith is holding it, and I think until they really see what it's going to be. And what I saw with the price action on both the Monolith and then like the Adidas drop where like people that got them like sold right away, including me on the Adidas drop. Like I sold mine too early. But the people that were buying were not buying to flip. They were not, it wasn't like a profile picture project. They were buying to get what's ever in the Monolith or from the Adidas drop. And you've just seen those prices rise from when they first dropped and kind of hovered around 6 ETH for the Monolith and 1.5 for the Adidas.
And yeah, I hold one of the Adidas, and it's sort of that similar idea where I thought it would be cool to get the tracksuit, so I'm just holding and waiting until that comes out, and not don't really have an interest in
Yeah.
selling it. And there's
I,
depending on
I
what they
I was a
do,
little different. I was like, I'm never gonna wear this tracksuit.
right?
It's not worth $3,000-$4,000 or almost $5,000 now. I'd rather have the money
Yeah.
than the tracksuit.
Yeah, and I minted it. I don't know if I'd be buying it at 1.5 ETH or whatever it
Yeah.
currently is either.
I'm in it too, and I sold them
Yeah.
both too
Yeah.
early.
Um, and so I think it's gonna be important as far as what this is, if it's deflationary, if it's land. Like, we know land is like a whole nother world when it comes to, stuff like this on holding versus not, because things like the serums, you know, it becomes a deflationary asset, and you've noticed, like, the serum for mutant apes and then the Clonex vials, they trade at it's about like 1.5 the floors of the OG of the project. So if this is something like that, that might be deflationary or have some of them that are deflationary aspect to it. Um, that would be big. And then another theory I've been seeing people talk about is this could be connected to the coin, and maybe here's two shares into the coin, and it could be split out in these animals. It could be split out into you each get one blue, one red bean, because taking the blue and red pill
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a thing out
That's a good
there.
thought.
So, it's funny, like, reaching out to people to seeing what the ideas are. I'm getting a lot of cool ideas like that. Um, Basically, the one that Bill from our team, he was explaining to me. He said, um, there haven't really been references to animals beforehand, so he's not sure if that's part of the lore, but the blue and red bean or seed has been part of the lore. So, his thought is like, what if these grow into bushes and then you can grow further beans? And that's how you like the
Mm,
staking and growing the tokens part of it. So there's so many cool ways they could go about doing this. And it's almost like the longer they hold off from telling us, uh, the maybe cooler ideas that people can come up with
right,
and make a reason for spending 5 ETH on something like this.
right.
So,
More anticipation that they build up.
yeah. Um, so then we had, let me just pull up the OpenSea while we're on it, because there's been some crazy activity so far. Like, there's already over 4,000 ETH in volume, and you can see up here in the banner that Wordle phrase that we were talking about. There's also like a bunny on this, and it's kind of cool, like the stylistic um, artwork on here. This like reimagined Bobu kind of thing up here that's like written in chalk or whatever. Um, do you expect, whether or not it's done through this, but do you expect Azuki to get into the metaverse game?
Uh, I had never thought of that. I didn't think they were. I thought they were mostly going to be, this brand and focused around merch and being, a supreme like brand.
Mm,
But I mean, for my bags, I'll take it if they want to go down that route, and I'll take the bean trap and the land. Give it all to me.
yeah, I think what I was expecting originally when I heard it was an airdrop was it was going to be a claim for a piece of merch, or say it represents like 100 bean tokens, and you can buy different things in the store for different amounts of bean, because they did show that the bomber jacket last night was like big and on display. So that one is something that I think people have been expecting, is, when are we getting this merch? Because that's sort of been Azuki's thing, is they're going to be a streetwear brand. Some people were tying them to Supreme, and I feel like they kind of squashed some of those rumors, right? I think originally people thought, oh, they're going to connect to Supreme because they had uh, with the airplane, it looked very similar, the style to Supreme's logo, and then basically Zagabond was like, no, we're going to be like better than Supreme.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They weren't. Yeah, it was basically So there's not going to be any Supreme partnership, but they're going to do their own thing. They're going to be, like you said, better than Supreme.
Yeah. Um, so let's see. We have some comments as well in chat, and Kenzo wants the blue chip airdrop alpha. So now that we've seen this with Azuki, do we expect other projects to do this? We have seen a lot of other projects do it in general. Supreme is one of the lower ones here, or not lower, but most recent ones. Not sure how many other projects haven't really done something like this. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Is there
I
any
mean,
others?
there's Doodles. I mean, obviously they did the spaceship thing, which I like that. That was cool, but it wasn't really like an additional drop, right? So I mean, there's still chance for them to do something more, I would think.
Yeah, it's almost like the new meta right now is, oh, you've reached a 10th floor, you need to expand your project, which I don't want to say is anything that I disagree with, because I think a lot of people can't afford it to get in at 10 ETH and give us something that you can get in at 1 or 2 ETH floor and still be part of that ecosystem. And I mean, everyone wanted to go to that event yesterday. Clearly, like they didn't have enough space for it, but I heard that it was anyone with an NFTLA ticket were able to get in. So
Oh,
it
really?
wasn't just holders only. So I think that's what sort
Yeah,
of
it must have
happened
been
there.
how early you got there.
Yeah.
I actually gave my entry to someone. Shout out Cosmos.
Oh,
And yeah,
nice.
he wasn't able to get in. There's like 500 people waiting.
Yeah. So I want to show this because you had done this video, and I'll share the link as well here. But you've done this video, so let's sort of talk about it, because it's basically Azuki top 50. Are these? How did you come up with the list? Did you
Right.
take, say, the top 100 in rarity and go one by one, or was it just kind of like a look and feel that you were doing?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it wasn't any one particular thing. Like obviously some of my personal preferences play a role in this. But yeah, no, I looked at like what all the top traits were. Like I looked through all the spirits, all the golds, and then you've got all these different like combos. Like you got the I want
This
to turn
one.
it down a little bit. Yeah, like this one right here. This one is like a very unique one. Zagabon tweeted about it. Literally every single trait in it is red, and there's not. It's almost like it was intentionally. Probably was intentionally made like a one of one. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I spent a lot of time on this, looking through Azuki's and all the different combos, and like I've seen various people on Twitter.
Yeah, the combo idea is really cool, because I think what happens with a lot of these is it aesthetically pleasing. Now, is this the one that just sold? That one that we just
Yeah,
showed?
yeah,
So this one made headlines the other day. It sold for 420.69
yeah.
ETH, like a nice
One point
number.
four million, I think.
So yeah, that one. Do you think, like why did you not have this ranked number one? But it is the top sale that we've seen for
Right.
Azuki. It was originally bought by one of those funds. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but they bought it for around 100, and then they're reselling it for basically a 4x. So why
Yeah.
do you think this one is higher up on other lists, let's say,
Well,
versus yours?
I mean, I think the ones I have above this probably could sell for more than that. Maybe not my number 3 one. But like if you look at number 1, number 2, they're like full spirit.
Hmm.
Can you mute the sound on it? I think you have it on slow motion. There we go. Um, but yeah, like this one right here, this one was unique because it's got 3 lightning traits and like it's fully blue. Again, it's some of my personal preference. Like if you were to pull people, they may, think that the one that was number 5 should actually be number 1.
Yeah.
But this just more in general is like, I think of the 50, sure you can move them around a little bit, but like these probably for the most part are like the 50 most desirable based on all the different combos that Azuki, I think, was really smart in sort of organizing when they put this collection out.
Yeah. I like this one, the panda one. Is this the one that Deez has? I know he had one
Uh,
that
I'm
looks
not sure. This
sort of
one,
like
this
that
one's the only gold like panda um jacket, and then
with
also a
Spirit.
spirit. Yeah. So I actually
So,
ran a poll on Twitter, and the winner of like what people thought the top one was actually number 2. That was
um,
full water spirit, whereas this one's just pure spirit.
yeah, so the cool aspect of it is it's essentially see through and being able to have the art that way, and just in general, like it's appealing to the eye, and I think that's what a lot of the high end stuff is. It's not just hey, this is rare. It's like, is it aesthetically pleasing? Like, can I have it as my PFP? There's a site that I was looking at earlier that was talking about PFPs by collection and on Twitter, and BAYC is number 1, but Azuki's number 2. And I think that's a big reason. This is something that Andy was talking about on Club Top Shot the other day, where it's like more hip to have an Azuki as your PFP than a board 8. I think it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, yeah, I have the similar thoughts of like what he said. I don't want to like I have no qualms with Board Ape Yacht Club. It's just like, yeah, I think when Board Ape Yacht Club was created, like it was the early days of NFTs. I don't think they didn't expect to become what they were. They just, they hired an artist kind of off the internet, and they made apes because, aping into things and all that. But Azuki, I think, was really like thought out from the beginning of like what they're gonna be.
yeah.
Whereas Bored Apes, kind of grew into that.
And I think that just it's the type of thing that long term you kind of have to be like that. I think doodles have a little bit of that with them,
Yeah, yeah,
where they kind of are cooler. They're doing like
right.
cool events. Um, I don't want to like it's too early in the cycle to call board apes like boomers or anything, but like you said, like the art itself, that was somewhat of a different time in NFTs, and just one thing people talk about with mainstream adoption is there's just going to be better artists in the space. There's just going to be cooler designs on stuff. So
Right.
here's the jacket that I was talking about before. Um, Pretty cool. They had it on display. It's got that smoky feel to it. It has the tiger on the back. Do you think this is something you would want? Because one thing with some of these merch items is I look at it and I'm like, people gave Doodles shit for having some like plain stuff. But at the
Right.
end of the day, like, I'm not sure. Do I want this giant tiger on my back? So do you
Yeah.
think this is something that you would get?
I mean, so I personally like, yeah, I want something more plain. Like this jacket's supposed to be like super premium materials and everything. And like,
Yeah.
I would like the jacket if it wasn't like, if the back was just plain black and then you had like one bean logo on the front, like that, I think I would like it then. I just, yeah, wouldn't want to walk around with this big tiger on the back.
Yeah.
It's not my style, but like a lot of the people that are into Azuki, like them, that's their style probably. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, and it's something that, we've seen this sort of anime meta. There is the Kiwami, if I'm saying that correctly. That was one of the big volume projects yesterday, and I think just people in general like this style as far as art goes. To what we see with the Azuki. Have you gotten into any others in that, or are you into anime in general outside of what you have with
no,
Azuki?
the as close as I've been to being into anime was being a Dragon Ball Z fan when I was a kid. Outside of
Yeah.
that, not really.
Yeah, that could be a cool something too if they come out with something like more card game related or anything
Right.
like that, because that's a massive market. Just anime and
Well, I think one of the biggest risks to like a lot of the current projects out there is like Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon or something like coming out with a project
yeah,
like
like their
And then you're
own.
just gonna take so like if they came out with their own, you're gonna take so much, money out of the market and into that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that, basically what you said is pretty true with that. Ray is saying in the chat, he's saying if people are gonna rock that creature sweatshirt, then they're gonna rock this too.
Right.
And I don't disagree with that. But I think there's something about the creature jacket and sweatshirt gear that you kind of go in and you're like, oh, this is, I don't want to say like a joke or anything, but you're wearing the giant face. There's like a certain type of person that's going to wear that already, and they just like wear things like that. I think someone, say the jacket in this picture, I think someone who owns an Azuki might be more likely to wear something simple like this. Maybe it has the logo, but I just think that the massive tiger on the back is for certain people, but is it going to be for the masses? There's what, over 6,000 owners of Azukis. So, is it going to appeal to the masses? I think is the big thing in selling, but also like they might want it more limited in that sense. So,
Right.
we'll see. And they made an announcement or anything about the bomber jacket in the Discord?
No, nothing that I saw.
Yeah. Um, well, yeah. So, was there anything else that you like recently with stuff they've been talking about? Like Zagabond keeps having some cryptic tweets. Is there anything else that you think is coming that maybe we haven't touched on yet, or seems to be on the radar coming up?
Not that no, not that I know of. I mean, one thought that I've always had that would be cool for them to do is the merch that's actually in the Azuki NFTs. If they could like actually release that merch as
Mm,
like its own collection, like even down to like my Azuki's got is holding a guitar, an Azuki guitar. Like, what if they could release that same guitar that's in the NFTs? I think
yeah.
that'd be cool.
I've always thought they seem to really be into the skateboard idea. I've always thought they'd be coming out with skateboards.
Yeah. Right.
I think Bored Ape did that. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, they did that, right?
Yep.
At one point. So Bored Ape came out with merch earlier in this week as well, and everyone hated it. It was kind of the opposite. Maybe I could pull that up here. But what was your thought on the Bored Ape merch? Because I feel like it got a lot of negative talk
Yeah.
after.
Yeah,
Um,
the V Friends merch wasn't too well received either. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't like the Mutant Ape or Bored Ape merch.
yeah, and
The original like Bored Ape hoodie, the just like simple one, like that I liked, but yeah,
yeah.
no, not the latest designs.
Like the original, the Bored Ape, they had. I found one here. They had the mutant sweatshirt, that original one I liked, but here basically a layout of what they had. So they have this like mutant world, and it's got this like Atom feel. A lot of this, it kind of looks. I've been calling it like metal
Yeah,
theme,
yeah, no, yeah,
um,
it's definitely a certain that type of style, which
or like bikers.
right, right, yeah,
Um,
bikers. That's a good analogy.
what's your thought on these pants? So I know you're also a Goons holder. I'm not sure what type of Goons merch you have, but
I've got Goons
they
pants. Yeah,
you have the Goons pants that
yeah,
has the Goons written down the side. What's
yeah.
your thought on that? Because I'm seeing that more on these, and I'm not sure if I do or don't like it. It's kind of the type of thing where maybe I'll wear it around the house, but I don't know if I'm going to wear that in public either.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's some of the Goons merch like I would wear outside of the house. It depends on like how flashy it is. I don't wear, especially stuff that you're showing right now. Like I would never wear anything like this.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Goons merch I like. But yeah, there's certain things that I just wear around the house.
yeah. Cause something simple like in the top, the second from the right there, where it's sort of that dad hat just with the logo,
Mhm.
like that. I think appeals to a lot of people. Like Goons
Right.
have a hat that's like that as well. And obviously they're going to be coming out in the Urban Outfitters, which that's a very big thing, I think, as well.
Yeah,
That
I'm gonna
connection that they have.
June 20th is when they're having a like activation event at Urban
Yeah.
Outfitters in New York.
Yeah.
I'll be
The
there.
NFT MIC. Are you planning on going out for that, you think?
Yeah, yeah. I booked my flight earlier this
Oh,
week.
nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, and I feel like they throw some good parties at those events, so I'll probably end up going to it as well. Yeah, yeah. Ray, what merch do you already have? You say imagine not wearing NFT merch while DJing. Yeah, if you're just like sitting at home and you go to mint something, you should be wearing some of this merch. And it's one thing that I've been somewhat collecting, I guess, recently. Now I have also the lemons sweatshirt. That hoodie came in the mail. I got this. I got Nifty slabs from the Penelopes, and I don't know, I'm just kind of like collecting these random things because who knows, like 10, 20 years from now, it could be cool to like look back on like the first year of NFTs and see like all the cool stuff that you
Yeah,
accumulated.
yeah. I regret not getting the Punks comic physical. I
Physical.
didn't. Yeah, I had bought a Punks comic and I didn't hold it in claim for the physical. And then like Huxley as well. I had Huxley comics, and I chose to not and he didn't burn them, but I chose to not like claim the physical with those either.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of
I
regretting it.
saw, I'm not sure if you saw the stuff on the Huxley event yesterday, but that one looked kinda cool too. There's, people in they had, like, masks and, like, full leather black outfits
Yeah, I saw a
on.
few pictures. My
Yeah,
timeline's been flooded with Azuki stuff though, so I'm
yeah.
trying to dig through and find the Huxley stuff as well.
Are you still a Huxley owner?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Huxley whale, I guess
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
call it,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
Huxley Maxi.
Yeah, I remember seeing in the incubator Discord, you're chatting them up, and I think I was too late on it. It was already like running, and it seems like people are pretty into that one. I'm not as deep into to knowing all the ins and outs of them, but yeah, all these events are coming out now, and there's a lot of merch and different stuff. So it's kind of cool to see like the different items out there. I should be getting the Doodles sculpture. I
Mhm.
guess that's what you're calling it. That should be coming here one of these days for me, and that'll be a cool like piece to it. I'm gonna need like a storage closet just for NFT stuff at this point.
Right.
But um, the other thing I wanted to touch on while we were on stream today, because this is sort of the other big thing happening today. But so Gutter Cat Gang, they are doing their species one, which are the cats. See you in the lab at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's about 20 minutes from now. They're going to make it available for people to basically, if you have a gutter cat, you could clone it as seen on here. But if you just have the juice, which there's about 4,000 more juices than cats, so most people will do it that way, you're going to get random traits. So they've shown some pretty cool uh, just I guess spoilers here in the last few days. So I'm not sure if you're a gutter cat holder at all, but what do you think about these new gutter clones? Because a lot of people are saying they think it looks cooler than the original set.
Yeah, no, that's that's the same thought I have. I have never been into the gutter cats because they weren't appealing to me. I
Yeah,
never understood gutter cats much, but these look sick right here. I
yeah,
would want one of these.
yeah. So I think that'll be interesting to watch. Like as we were mentioning earlier, like this whole idea of do you hold, do you sell? Um, I wanted to make sure I had multiple, and I just want to hold at least one for a while, and just see how that works out. Because who knows? Maybe we just keep getting more information over time. I had Gutterwing on a few weeks ago, and one thing that he was talking about is they're right now they're all DNA one, but basically it's been hinted at there's ways to upgrade it. So some people are going to right away put these in and see what comes out. But I want to hold because I think they have some more in store on these. And they're going to have their own gang token come out at some point. They've
Yeah.
also been talking about, and not sure how these are going to be involved with that. That might be how you level them up is by using gang, but I don't think they're going to be earning. So we saw some price action last night on all the gutter juices, and then the Azuki bomb happened and kind of slowed down that momentum. So this is
How,
one I want to watch. Not sure if you have other
one
takes.
question. Oh, I
Yeah.
have I haven't followed this super closely. Like how does the vials, the juices work? Do you have to own a pigeon or a dog or a cat in order to get the clone? Or
No. Yeah, so basically what they did was there's 3,000 of each of the species.
right.
And if you're holding that item, you got one airdropped.
Okay.
And then they additionally did a Dutch auction that went from, I guess, zero point 0.9 it started at, but it ended at 0.1 ETH. And so most of them were sold at that, but they sold 16,000. So it's 4,000 for each species. And then I'm not sure, maybe 48 hours after, um, you found out which of the 4 species you got.
Mm.
So you paid the 0.1 ETH and you didn't know which one you got. So then if you ended up getting a cat, the floor on those are like 1.2 right now.
Right.
And the other ones are all like a half or less. It's in that like
Yeah.
0.3 range. So if you don't have a cat, but you have a cat juice like me, you could put it in and then you get a random assortment of traits. But if I had the cat, then it would clone it based on those traits.
Mm.
So I kind of want to sit and watch and see what kind of like combos come out of it. Because I could see maybe they make them cooler if they're the current traits. Maybe there's like new traits. Like I'm not sure what this comes off of. Does this come off of their tattoo trait? I'm
So
not sure.
and then if you hold one of these, you expect like airdrops are coming and stuff. I haven't been following.
That's what I'm not sure. So, as Boylan's mentioning here, they're not applicable to the token, so you're not going to necessarily earn tokens, or if they do it like Ape and it's in a lump sum, you're going to need the OG species for that. So, on that side, I probably expect most of their floors to be under the OGs, but um, yeah, I'm not sure. In my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of aesthetics that's going to be traded off of this. Like, oh, that one looks really cool. Like, I want it, but I'm not sure what like the floors of them are going to look like.
Well,
If
Ray's
there's
saying I need to go sleep the floor right now. I've been watching them for like a week, and I've been thinking about buying. Like, I'd probably just buy one, but I
yeah,
don't like buying secondary. And of course, I am an idiot and wasn't paying attention when they minted.
yeah. So there's a lot of game theory in this one, which we don't really know too much about, because so there's going to be 7,000 clones long term. 3,000 of them are coming from current the current species cloning. We don't know what the other 4,000 are going to be. So I don't know if it's better to clone an existing one or a different one. So like there's that side of it. What I would say though is the next step of the theorizing is they're just doing the cats today. I think they're going to be doing them one at a time, and cats they put on their species one. I'm not sure if they're going to go down the list. If they do, like I think rats are 2, and then it's pigeons, dogs, the 3,
Right.
4. So maybe they do once a week. They do this setup. Who knows? But that side of it is probably going to keep up the demand as far as like the secondary species. But what happens with the cats after this drops?
So
Does one price go up or down?
there'll be 7,000 of each one then.
Of
Cats,
the
dogs.
clones, yeah.
Right.
So then it'll be basically 10,000 total of each. So I'm sort of thinking of it as, say, like one of these other projects. Um, what's a good one? Let's say there's just one that they have 3,000 of one type and then the other 7,000 of the other. There's this one that I have the Martian Premier League. Let's say there's like 3,000 Martians and then the other 7,000 are the humans.
Mhm.
I don't think those are the exact numbers or anything, but I think it's going to be like the OGs of the premium cat price wise, but I don't know how to price it. Like if cats are 9 ETH, then what should a clone be? Should it be a third? Should it be a fifth? And if they don't have the token assigned, then it's hard to give an exact number.
All right. So what we're gonna do is you're just gonna tell me when to buy a clone or a juice or whatever.
Yeah. My thought is if you want a cat, then you should just buy one now. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Because my thought is as people use the juices, then the juice price would go up. So if your
Right.
play is to just hold the juice, then this could still be the cheapest that you get it at because they're
I don't like doing the short term speculating and trading game. Like what's the best like I don't know, medium or longer term more
yeah,
swing trade I could do.
yeah, that's my thought is
Okay.
cat juice and hold it. I think they're going to be similar to holding like an M2 serum or something
Right.
like that. Um, but they were like zero point 0.8 last week and now they're 1.2. So they've already pumped a little bit. So that's like the scary part of going in now. But I don't know. In my opinion, like I don't think they'll go back under 1 ETH. Like there's still 150 dogs that haven't been claimed because that's how they did the dogs and pigeons was like a mint pass. Um and the floor on those are still over 4 and the OGs are like 2. So in my mind, like the juice is gonna hold a higher floor, but you want the cat.
So I get why the cats like are the premium ones because those are the OGs, but like what makes like why are rats the same price as pigeons and why are dogs worth more than the two?
Yeah. I think people just aesthetically like the dogs more.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, if
I
any
like
of
I
them are
actually
underpriced, it might be the rats. I don't know.
I actually like the pigeons more than
Yeah.
the dogs and the rats. The rats
Yeah.
I like the least.
See, so that could be your play too. And I think there's a rare lotto involved. Like you get
Yeah, yeah.
the pigeon juice and potentially you get like, I don't know, like a gold pigeon or
Right, right.
something. So do that play. I have rats, cats, and I have one dog because I have the OG dog. Um, I think I'm gonna try to clone, but yeah, it's tough because like you said, like why should the dogs be higher? It's really just aesthetics, I think, at this point.
Mhm.
Um, but if my theory, as I was mentioning before, comes true, then I think the rats would be the next ones that can be cloned. Um, so we'll see what happens there. This is obviously they're going to start in the next 10 minutes, at least they should be starting in the next 10 minutes. So um, I know that a decent amount of our viewers are part of the Gutter Cat gang. We've done a couple streams that have been with them recently. So yeah, if you are a listener and you're watching and you have one of the cat juices, then let us know like if you're interested and you decide to pop one of the juices and see maybe you get one of the cool ones. I plan on doing one in the next like once it comes out. I plan on doing one just to see like what it comes out as. It could come out really cool and I could really like it. I wish I had more and had a little more optionality. Obviously looking back, I wish when I think the cats started at like point 0.3, point 0.4. Um, I wish I got more of them then, because I'd love to hold it for a little longer, and then who knows? Yeah, Ray. He's saying do it live. I'll do one of them live at some point. Probably not today because I can't confirm that it'll actually work. uh 10 minutes from now. So I don't want to mess that up. I'd rather like wait and see that it's confirmed and worked. So maybe I'll do that on another stream one of these other days or something like that. But yeah, thanks for hopping on. I think it was pretty good discussion on the Azuki stuff. When do you think we'll find out more? Do you think it'll be this weekend?
It's possible. I mean, I did not expect like them to announce something like this so quickly. I thought it was going to be like several more months before we heard anything. So,
Well,
um, yeah, I think we could see something coming up here within the next week.
yeah, I kind of expected it to be announced last night, that you're going to be getting XYZ or
Right.
like, oh, here's what we're gonna do for Bean, and that's gonna happen however long. So I kind of like that it came out this way though. There's a lot more
Right.
unknown
Well,
out
one
there.
one thing before we go that we didn't talk about and get your thoughts on was
Yeah.
what do you think about all the? It seems like there was a lot of whales buying Azukis up leading up to this. Do you think there was a leak that people had insider info of what was coming?
Yeah, I feel like that's been somewhat a thing recently.
Right.
We saw that with World of Women Galaxy had that too. Um, I think Toads, we saw it with Meebits ahead of the Yuga announcement.
Hmm.
Um, I think that one was a little more inside info than this one because at least Azuki had
Yeah, this one
announced
they at
this
least
party was going to happen.
yeah they said there was going to be an announcement.
Yeah.
Right.
But to your point, like whales buying them in bulk in order to then say they swept 10 Azukis, then you're getting 20 of these airdrops and you're getting like, I don't know what it comes
A
out to, like
ridiculous amount of ETH.
60% back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could sell a couple of Azukis. You probably come out like 5 Azukis free or something. Um, so yeah, I could see that. It seems like this is becoming the norm, unfortunately. So
I like it.
people that are like that,
I'd rather all these projects do airdrops and grow their communities than people continuing to buy all these
the
crap
dust.
projects that yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I meant the norm of this like insider info pump
Oh, the insider info. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because I think Guttercat had a little pump like that too. But basically, the way people have to trade now is if something's moving out of the blue, like do you start following that and you try to hop in because like is that the move? What do they know that I don't kind of thing?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I had no plans to sell my Azuki once I saw that it was whales that were the ones that were, buying in bulk.
right. More like confidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Ray's saying, like it's not like it dumped. The reason I brought up the WoW Galaxy is because WoW went up to like 15 and then it went back. It's back down at like 9 now. So that one to me seemed more like it. But I think a lot more people have Azukis and like having the Azuki and have held it for a while. Did you mint yours or
No.
how
I
early
mean,
did you
just
get it?
just like just like the gutter cat gang. Like if I would have, researched into it and paid attention to what's going on, I would have minted it. But no, I bought secondary at like 6 ETH.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray saying you always have to have 30 ETH lying around. Yeah, we had DM'd last night about just the idea of swing trading, but once the airdrop came out, one of the moves you could have made was to buy the quick dump off of Azukis when they fell back to 15 because now they
Right.
come back up. That like was the entry point. So he's like, you always have to have 30 ETH lying around to make that move. But yeah, he said he's gonna start tailing you, so watch out because he probably means it. But
Eh,
um, yeah, I think Azuki they're in a good spot right now. They've always had this crazy volume and like hype around it, so um, I don't think they're really going anywhere for a while, at least.
right.
Seems like the hype continues to stay up, even when they weren't really doing much. People still loved having their Azukis. So
Yeah. I mean, the biggest risk to a Azuki or Bored Apes is just overall market risk. Like if the whole market
yeah,
tanks, that's what's gonna crash them.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, and personally, I think they have pretty much solidified themselves. They've been in the top 5 for a while, but I still kinda think they've solidified themselves as top 3, the, like, Yuga grouping, and then Clonex and Azuki are pretty similar. Clonex is 20,000 count, so it's a little different, but, yeah, and then, like, Doodles is the other 10K in that
Yeah.
range, I think. So, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Thanks for having me.
people watching like their discussion and thoughts on what we think is going to happen with Azuki's. And yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll find out some more information this weekend. Um, maybe I'll record this drop for RA and post that as something later as well. Um, hopefully when I do it, I get a good clone, so it's, like, worthy of doing
Right.
a video. If it's not that good of a clone, I might not even. But, so cool, yeah, thanks for hopping on, and we'll see you guys next time.